where we're going to begin this section in talking about the most recognizable feature of a notary public, and that, of course, is the notary seal. Let's start off with talking about what the notary seal is supposed to look like. Now, the design of the notary seal for California is very specific. First of all, the seal must be photographically reproducible, and this is a really important point. So, if you choose to use an embosser type seal, you have to make sure that it's an inked embosser. Now, the color of ink, it's not important, but it must be photographically reproducible. So it can be blue or black, but frankly, black is sort of the universal ink for notary seals. Notice also, the seal must have what they call a serrated or milled edge border. And the notary seal must contain the notary's name, the commission expiration date, and a commission number. By the way, you'll receive a new commission number for each commission, so you'll need a new seal every 4 years. Included on the seal, there'll be a county where the oath and bond are on file, the state seal, and the words Notary Public. Finally, around the border of the seal, you're going to find the notary seal's manufacturer identification number. Now, before we move on, I'd like to point out that you're going to want to just make note of the maximum dimensions of the notary seal. If you use a round seal, and frankly, most notaries do not use a round seal, but you may use a round seal as long as all of the information that we talked about is there. It cannot be more than 2 inches in diameter maximum. Now, on the rectangular notary seal, which is a much more universal seal, it's 1 inch in height maximum and 2.5 inches in width maximum dimensions. Now, as I said, most notary seals in California are regular, but you do have some options such as an embosser or a round seal. Just make sure that they're inked and they have all of the required information. Okay, once your notary application has been approved by the Secretary of State, you'll be sent a letter of commission through the mail, and along with that letter, you're going to receive an authorization to manufacture your notary seals. Now, you'll have to wait until you receive that letter of commission because it will have the authorization included with that letter of commission, and you cannot manufacture notary seals without that original copy. Now, as a notary, you're obligated to purchase at least one notary seal, and when you do, the Secretary of State will receive a copy of the imprint of that seal from the seal manufacturer or vendor that you choose. Keep in mind that the notary seal can only be purchased from a state-approved vendor or manufacturer, and you'll receive a list of approved manufacturers or vendors along with that authorization to manufacture notary seals. You'll need to send the original authorization to the seal vendor that you select, which provides them with the necessary authorization to manufacture your notary seal. Of course, NotaryClasses.com is an approved manufacturer for notary seals, so if you have any questions about your notary seal or how to obtain it, we'd sure love for you to give us a call. Now, as with the notary journal, the notary seal is also to be kept locked and secured, and it must remain in the exclusive control of the notary public. The notary should never surrender the notary seal to anyone for any reason except when required by court order. Once again, failure to secure the notary seal, just as failure to secure the journal, may result in suspension or revocation of the commission and civil and/or criminal penalties. We're going to talk about a special circumstance whereby a notary is permitted to notarize a document, and this is the only time that a notary is permitted to notarize a document without actually using the notary seal, and that's on a document called a California subdivision map. It's the only situation when an imprint of the notary seal on a document is not required. Now, the reason is the material that's used for these kinds of maps, it's almost never compatible with the ink on the notary seals. So in this one case, the notary public's name, the county of the notary public's principal place of business, and the commission expiration date must be typed or printed below or immediately adjacent to the notary public's signature on the acknowledgement for this California subdivision map. Now, did you notice something that seems like it should be included, but that's not to be included on a California subdivision map? This is the kind of thing that may not be so obvious when you're looking at it at first glance. Notice that the notary commission number is not included on a California subdivision map. Now, the notary seal is not permitted to be used for anything other than carrying out the duties of a notary public. Don't use the notary seal imprint as a way to make documents look more authentic, for example, or in advertising, such as putting the seal on the back of your business cards, which I can't imagine somebody doing, but people have done it. Or, for that matter, in advertising in any other way. Always place the imprint of the notary seal on the document that contains proper notary wording, and the notary seal should be placed close to the notary's signature when notarizing. Not on the back of the document because there's not enough room, or on a separate blank page. It should be placed on the document that contains the proper wording and next to the notary signature. Okay, now a lot of the documents that you'll need to seal are going to later be submitted to the county recorder's office for an official recording. The county recorder might not accept the document if the notary seal is illegible. All of the parts of the seal must be visible. The seal should not be placed over any signatures or any printed matter on the document, and if the seal impression isn't clear, don't try to fix it by hand. If there's room, just stamp the impression again. If there isn't room, you're going to need to attach a separate notary certificate. Now, I haven't yet talked about these separate certificates, but we will soon, and you'll know exactly what I'm referring to and what to do. Of course, as with the journal, if you lose your notary seal or it becomes damaged or stolen or otherwise is no longer in your possession, you must immediately notify the Secretary of State by mail or some type of written notice. If you request one, they're going to send you a new certificate of authorization in 5 working days of receiving your notification. And of course, you'll need to send that authorization into the authorized seal manufacturer to obtain a replacement seal. Finally, just a quick reminder that upon termination of your commission for any reason, you'll need to destroy that notary seal in order to avoid it being stolen or accidentally used. If the notary is physically unable to destroy the seal because of illness or death, someone should be appointed to do that on the notary's behalf.